Well, we're back again with yet another No Fluff analysis, and this time I'll be talking about the Gala Dragalia Remix Summon Showcase, running from the 15th of July until the 18th of July UTC. Let's get straight to it with the first adventurer added, the 5-star Shadow Axe Summer Patia, the Seaside Sparrow. Summer Patia's first skill is Sparrow Splash, which deals 2 hits to a target and nearby enemies, dealing a total of 1494% damage, and also reducing defense by 5% for 10 seconds. This costs 2800 SP. Summer Patia's second skill is Surging Sparrows, which deals 2310% damage to enemies in a line, inflicting poison for 15 seconds. This costs 5600 SP and can also be skill shared for 7 skill share points. When shared, it costs 10,080 SP. Summer Patia has the standard Axe co-ability granting plus defense, and for her chain co-ability she grants shadow units plus 15% strength when below 40% hit points. Summer Patia's first ability is Sparrow Spiker, which grants Patia an additional 5% defense and a 3 charge level Force Strike. Sparrow Splash will cause Patia's next Force Strike to inflict poison, and Patia's fully charged Force Strike grants 1400 SP. She also has Paralysis Resist, and for a final ability she has Poison Edge and Anti-Poison equals Strength. At 50% hit points or above, Patia's poison infliction chance increases by 60%, and whenever the poison infliction is resisted, Patia gains 15% strength for 10 seconds. This effect has a 5-second cooldown. In my opinion, the most interesting part of this kit is the final ability. Anti-poison equals strength means that even if you ramp up an enemy's resistance to an affliction, Patia still benefits from attempting to inflict it. This is pretty neat. As a side note, it also gives extra bonuses to people using Ranzel's skill share when leveled up, making it a strength buff if it fails to inflict poison. Overall, given that her Force Strike grants 1400 SP when fully charged, its fast charge speed and her skills all costing multiples of 1400 SP, it seems that Summer Patia is intended to be played as a Force Strike centric axe. With Master Kyan on the horizon, I could see her being used with Ranzel's skill share, but in order for her to earn a spot in the meta, she also needs to bring huge amounts of damage. At a glance, her modifiers seem good, and her poison spamming gameplay loop should also enable her to enable poison compositions, while also enabling her to scale as the enemy's resistance rises. I think it's highly unlikely that Summer Patia will reach Gala Alex levels of DPS, but she should be able to comfortably sit with the rest of the top of the roster and clear Master Kyan further down the line. Next up we have the 5-star Light Bow, Summer Mikoto, the Wave Riding Archer. We should go over his first ability before we tackle his skills, as they're interlinked. His first ability is Sun and Sea. Mikoto's Force Strike does not deal damage. Instead, he has a Sunlight effect and Wave Light effect, alternating every 12 seconds. Force Striking while these effects are active will grant Mikoto the Illuminating Sunlight and Celestial Wave Light buffs respectively. Using either of Mikoto's skills when both buffs are active will power them up. Mikoto's first skill is Radiant Bolt, which deals 2 hits to a target and nearby enemies, totaling 1424% damage, as well as inflicting paralysis for 13 seconds. When powered up, Radiant Bolt will deal increased damage and further increased damage against paralyzed enemies, scaling up to 3332%. Radiant Bolt can also be shared for a cost of 7 skill share points, and when shared it will cost 10,400 SP to use. Mikoto's second skill is Magnanimity's Call, which increases Mikoto's strength by 20% for 30 seconds. When powered up, it also buffs critical rate by 20% and adds 15% to the critical damage modifier for 30 seconds. Summer Mikoto has the standard Bow Skill Haste co-ability, and for his Chain co-ability he grants light units 8% shadow resist for 15 seconds upon inflicting paralysis. For his abilities, the first one is Sun and Sea, which we covered at the start, the second is Curse Resist, and the final one is Paralyzed Shredder, which increases his critical rate by 20% and adds 15% to the critical damage modifier against paralyzed enemies. So Summer Mikoto has a pretty interesting kit with the alternating buffs and power up mechanic. With the effects alternating every 12 seconds, it should be fairly simple to get the powered up buffs to all align for some meaty hits with Radiant Bolt. The addition of Paralyzed Shredder as an ability also increases the overall value that Mikoto gets from crit-related stats. While his curse resist means he's suited for High Zodiac, it's also fairly dead content for now. That leaves us with the Shadow Agito further down the line. From my experience with the Fire Agito, lacking resistance to a damage over time affliction combined with unavoidable damage makes mistakes quite punishing. We'll have to see how the fight shakes out, but Mikoto's high damage modifiers and crit-centric kit gaining value in paralysis teams should enable him to fit in very well with the current top roster of light adventurers. While not part of the showcase, for posterity I'll also go over the Wyrmprints added with the previous update. We have the 5-star print, Summertime Feeling Feline, giving 6% striker strength and 15% striking haste. 4-strike oriented prints aren't typically well regarded, and striker strength basically means that this print will not see use in our current iterations of endgame content. We might see a tiny bit of value in defensive battles like we see now, but I don't think it makes it worth spending resources on. It's ironic how Mikoto is featured on the print as well, but he's the last character you'd want to use it on. With the 4-star print, it's such high spirits, granting plus 15% dragon time and 50% freeze resist. Freeze resist points this towards wind units, and no wind units currently want to remain in dragon form for longer than they currently do. I'd definitely say it's a hard pass on this Wyrmprint. In terms of roller content, well, this is Gala Dragalia Remix. We have Gala Cleo and Gala Mars both on rate up, and while it is technically a Gala showcase, the only other Gala character available is Gala Alex, but she's not rate up. My overall opinion on this is that you should probably aim for Gala Cleo on this showcase, as she's close to guaranteed to be used for Master Cayenne in a couple of weeks. Summer Patia will probably be able to clear, but the community seems to prefer faster clears that Summer Patia probably won't be a part of. I think that Summer Mikoto has potential in the future Shadow Agito fight, as he has high damage modifiers and good synergy with paralysis compositions, but we'll have to see that fight released to really decide his worth. So this voiceover was scripted and written up before any information was released on the DPS sims. I think both of the characters will comfortably sit near the top of the roster, because I don't think Cygames releases characters that are immediately trash. But if the DPS sims put them near the bottom for their elements, I'd be very surprised. And even then, the DPS sim, as proven with the previous water spirals, you always have to take with a grain of salt, because there's inherent limitations to how the DPS sim does things. I mean, there's enough stuff to talk about that I could probably make another video on all that kind of information, but no promises. Anyway, from talking about the Shadow Agito fight until now is completely unscripted, so this is me talking and not doing any retakes. Anyway, if you've been keeping up the channel and any sort of communication, then you'll have noticed that I've been a bit more active and also started streaming on Twitch recently. I'd appreciate it if you guys followed me over on Twitch, and if you want to follow me on Twitter for basically nothing important at all, then I guess that's also welcome. If you're watching until now, then I assume you're also interested in the fact that there's a straw poll for future games that I'm branching out to. The last one I had a try at was Exos Heroes, and that's where the Twitch VOD came from. It looks like the next one in the lead is Pokemon Cafe Mix, which should be interesting. And if you want to have any sort of influence on the next one, then the description, or the link for that, will be in the description as well. Anyway, if you watched until the end, thank you very much, I appreciate it. As always, stay safe, take it easy, and I wish you luck in your upcoming polls.